Goeiemôre graad 11s. Ons kyk vandag net 'n kort video oor Auschwitz, een van die doodskampe in Nazi-Duitsland. Dan sal ons volgende keer praat oor die video en ook oor die res van die werk wat volg.
It was a contest between who was going to come earlier, the death or the Americans.
We couldn't envisage what the end was going to be, what was going to happen to us.
There were rumors that the Americans are coming closer. As we heard in the distance, the duel of the artillery.
My mother got a message out to my father because the camps were not that far away initially in Buchenwald. They're near Leipzig. So there were some people that were going from one camp to the other. So she got a message and said, "You have reason to live." And he understood that to mean that she was pregnant. And his brother, who was in camp with him, said, "What did you do to her? What a horrible thing to do. She can get killed." A pregnant woman was not a situation that was survivable. It was immediate death.
In the summer of 1944, a massive Soviet offensive threatened to overrun Nazi strongholds throughout Poland.
The Russian army is getting close. They're within 50 miles.
Concentration camp commanders across Poland were ordered to evacuate with prisoners and head to the German interior.
They took us on a death march.
The reason it's called a death march is because we either march or you die.
Anybody who couldn't march, couldn't follow, was shot, and the body was thrown on the side of the road.
Some of us were very sick, and we didn't know whether we will make it.
I was about to stop. I was getting weaker and weaker.
Mijn Frans grabbed me in a fireman's lift and put me in the center of the column and dragged me along. Literally saved my life.
The girls that I shared the bread with formed a chair with their arms and they carried me so I wouldn't die. Isn't that amazing?
People who were too weak or too old or too sick, who couldn't go on a forced march, were put in a basement in an infirmary and left. And that was my mother.
The Nazi regime was reluctant to give up its prisoners, in the belief they might still be useful in armament factories.
They still believed, even in January 1945, that they will somehow win the war.
There was a possibility prisoners could be used as a bargaining chip to save the Nazi regime. And they also didn't want stories of mass murder revealed to the rest of the world.
When we came to Buchenwald, only 400 of us, of 10,000, remained alive, and I was one of them. The Buchenwald command got an order to eliminate the entire camp. There were 80,000 prisoners in Buchenwald at that time. 60,000 prisoners were executed. Now came our turn, the children's barrack. Just before we reached the gate, the sirens started to sound. The Germans closed the gates and they ran for cover.
The tables had turned.
It was beginning to dawn on us that we hadn't seen a German now for a day or maybe two. There was a barbed wire. We were told that there was high voltage in the wire, and some Jew was desperate enough to throw himself at the high voltage fence, only to discover that there was no high voltage.
All the guards disappeared. And 3 o'clock in the afternoon on April 11, 1945, 2 American soldiers walked into our barracks. The Messiah just arrived.
our train was taken to the Redenstadt. Was a ghetto of German Jews and Czech Jews, and we were liberated 4 days later by the Russian army. We had typhoid, had all sorts of diseases.
We heard the sound of a tank, very large sound. We thought they were going to kill us there. The first thing we noticed is the turret was not aimed at us. And the soldier jumped out. My father yelled, "Americans." The American soldier was a Jew, and he was from Brooklyn. He was our Messiah. And everybody singing, and yelling, and hooting, and so forth. By then I was 8 years old.
The German soldiers threw the rifles away. There was church bells ringing and white sheets hanging out from the windows. And the little girl came to me, and with a hand like this, and in her hand was a painted egg. And she says, "It's Easter Sunday." 40 days and 40 nights in Auschwitz-Birkenau, we liberated Easter Sunday. Can't make it up, can you?
Reg, graad 11, dit is die video vir vandag. Ons sal volgende keer verder praat. Gaan in vrede.